Hey guys, this is our FieldEdge again. Here's our standard dashboard as to what the desktop version looks like. And then right now I'm on my iPad, and then this is what the mobile version will look like. So I'll log out of this a quick second. And then it uses my Face ID or password to log in. It's updating all the stuff, work orders, items, anything that's changed since the last time I logged in. Then once it logs in, it goes to a screen similar to this. This here's a work order screen with work orders. It shows I've got 15 work orders. Then here's the timesheets, and you can click on the timesheets and it'll show you that yesterday I had an hour and 56 minutes of traveling. I had 8 hours, 8 3/4 hours of working, and then there was 13 1/4 hours of idle time. Today, so far, I've had 30 minutes of traveling, I've had 11 hours of working, and then approximately 2 minutes of travel time. So then this is where the guys can go in and out and check their hours. Here is hours over the past, with the week ending on the 28th. Then you can go back, and this is the week ending on the 21st. So this is just an area the guys can go to check their time, clock in and clock out. They can't go through here and adjust anything, but they can look at it. And then if I back out of this, that goes into there. I believe this is the same thing if I click on the clock. Oh no, so if I click on the clock, that's the same as this, clocking in, clocking out. So if I hit that, I'm clocked back in. Clock just turned green over here. So that's that. If I hit this, it'll take me to my work orders page, and I'll show you all the work orders. These are, the red ones are from previous days, or stuff that's already passed, and then the green ones are upcoming for later today yet. So you go through and see the work orders that have not been closed out yet, and as well as the work orders that I need to go to. If I hit home, it takes me back to this screen right here. Work orders. If we go to customers, it allows me to search a customer. And then from there, I can find whichever customer I want. Select the customer. Then I can see if there's a customer balance. It'll send me a notification there is a customer balance. Here is the customer balance. And then it gives me the option to call the customer, send a message to the customer through iMessage, or I can go through and email the customer if I wanted to. Then I can go through and select this to see the history, and it'll show me the different work orders in here. If I click on that, it'll bring me up to who the technician was, the date they were out there, the time they were out there, and then some notes about it. There's no attachments on this one or anything to see there, so I don't think it'll even take us anywhere. But then from customers, we search our customer, we can go to this. Now this will show me some pinned notes, of which is our different purchase order numbers. Then if we click this, it'll show us the different pictures that are attached to the customer in the work order that those pictures are attached to. That, and then I can create a work order if I want to. When I click create a work order, I can assign it to myself. Then this is the list of tasks that we've had throughout the whole process, which is what we use on the desktop version for creating a work order also. We can select the priority as emergency, high, low, and standard. They have different colors for different priorities. The lead source, this is the lead source. And then if the customer has their own specific PO number, you can create that and put that in there. I'll cancel that. I'll back out of this. Let's try another one here. Test. Let's do Flat River Electric World Headquarters Test Customer. So now this one we have listed as a do not service customer just for testing purposes. So there's a do not service there. They've also got some sort of an agreement attached to their account for whatever reason. We can click the agreement plan. And this should show us what the agreement is. I don't see any agreement popping up here. It'll show me the different pictures that are there. These are just listed as testing for now. Let me see if there's a history I can look at. So it'll show me the different history of the work orders that are in here. Looks like I was into this thing one time and I added a description. The description was install a remodel circuit. Here's the quote that I had wrote up when I was in it last time. Here's the value of the quote that I had wrote up and sent out. So you got all that same stuff, and then if you want to create a work order, we can. Again, it'll still says do not service, so it'll alert us on that later. You can tap this to see their overdue status. We must not have anything set up for it. The tasks, I come in and I'll select maybe a quote, car charger, electrical quote. This pops up off of this task right here that was in the other heading we did before. Let's go through and we'll do this as a high priority. Existing customer, there's no PO, but we'll just do testing for video. We'll save it. Now it tells me this is a do not service customer, and it asks us if we still want to go through or not. Now I get a notification up here. I should be able to click that, maybe. So then if I go to my work orders, now they just popped up for the current time of day. It's red right now, and this is a high priority color right here, so it sticks out. This is a standard color right here from our test customer from previous. I'll open this up. I can select traveling, so we'll say we're going to go traveling. Now it turned from a clock to a truck moving. And then in here I've got the customer PO of testing for video. We've got the task name. This is the description that automatically populated. If we would have added to it, it would continue out there. Then we've got a work order summary. Now this is, once I get to the job, I switch it from traveling to working. Then I can go into this work order summary. Now I can put stuff in here. And then I just go up to done or save. Now it's saved into here. It says saved down there. I can back out of this. Here's those attachments we had before. Those are available right in this work order. In this work order, I can also click the history, and you can see all the stuff. You can see I emailed a quote. Here's an invoice I had that I emailed. Here's a quote that I had that I emailed. Here's another invoice that I emailed. This is the invoice I created. And you just go right on down, and this is the history. So as you're heading to a project, you can pull up the history of all the guys that have been out there just to see what's going on. And then the timeline, we can go into the timeline, you can see what's been done. Now, in this equipment section, if you're on a job and we, let's say, add, let's say I want to search a load center, or like a panel. Here's a couple different brand ones. Here's a couple different styles or models. So let's say I put this panel in the house. Here's a little picture of the panel, brand, model number, idea, serial number. And put that. Was it installed by us? Yes, it was installed by us. This automatically populates today's date. This panel, here's the warranty on the panel. Here's the labor warranty expiration on the panel. Any additional information. So I want to put that. And then if I save this, it'll go into the equipment, and then we can check on it and we can see how long ago we installed it. We can see when the warranty expires on it, and we can check the serial number on it if we needed to. That's in the equipment. Then there's forms into here. So then this went back to those custom forms. Here's a form that needs to get done with it. Here's the at the door meet and greet. I have to introduce myself, select that, check to make sure my vehicle's all right. Then I have to go through and select these. This is just an input field. So there's a few little inputs, questions I ask to get responses for, what they've currently got in their house. It's a drop-down menu, so I'll select what they've got. Then there's a few different sizes. So I can say they got 200, and they got, let's say, a 30 space, and the extra information. And this is all part of those custom forms. And then it asks me to sign it. And then it allows the customer to sign it also. I can save that. Now that form has been completed. Now in the quote, if you select this box, so if we leave it the way the quote is, we can go through and select this. Well, here, let's try it like this also. So we've got that, and then let's say I want to go through and do surge protection, exterior mounted, standard surge. Shoot. We're gonna hit that. So now here's my quote right here. If it's just this one, we can't really put any description in it. When we switch it to a multi-quote, now I can come up into here and I can go through and put a description in here. So I usually do like a premium option, service upgrade with surge. And then you go through this and put a whole bunch of stuff in here. A lot of times I'll take this guy here, copy all that, Then I come up into here, paste that. Now that stuff will populate up into here. Now this here is a flat rate item, and I can't adjust anything into here. So I've just got these predetermined deals in here. Even if I went from 1 to 4 of these and do it, the price does not change. So no matter what I adjust in here, the price doesn't change. The price always stays the same. And I just put this pound sign next to that. Now this is what we call an assembly, and I put a star next to an assembly. And then in an assembly, we can go through and say it's going to be 4 hours. We're going to do 4 hours worth of material. And then I want to add, some stuff to it, so I can go through and add that. Hit the, go back, hit that shopping cart. Hit that shopping cart, that brings me back into here. Let's say we're gonna need 32 of those. Hit that. And this is what I've got called simplified pricing. Let's do testing for video. We'll save that. So now that price has changed from, I think it was $483 to $1,900 now by changing those quantities. And then I usually go through here and I'll create like 6 different options. So then we'll go from premium, we'll do a mid-grade option. Come in, take out this copy, save that. Whatever our deal is, we'll adjust it from 4 to 3.5 hours. Come back. So now it went from 19 down to 17 as a mid-grade. Then we can duplicate this, and we'll turn this into an economy. Economy option, and save. So now, if I go from here to here, I've got this view, and it shows a premium option, a mid-grade option, and an economy option. If I go up top and I hit present, it'll present it like this, which is all right, but you have to scroll down to view it, and it's really hard to view right here like this. So what I'd like to see happen is when I hit present right here, I would like for it to automatically open up a Google slideshow. And then in the Google slide, I want to present to the customers from here. So I'd like it to be, once I hit present, then I want this to open up. Have this image here, then show that we are licensed in the state of Michigan, that I carry the licenses, that we are fully insured. Then I'd like to go through and have it display our customer reviews, how many reviews we've got. I'd like to have it go through and show this. Then there's an observation section, which I'd like to be able to input that on the mobile version somewhere. So it'd almost be like back into here, maybe an additional item instead of the work summary, or in addition to work summary. It'd be nice to have another one down into here that's observations. And then I would just click the observations tab, input my observations, of which during presentation time would then populate like this. So this is my observation section. Then I'd like this to be my platinum or my premium option. Then I go to my gold option, and it spits out all of this, of which this here is the text that would typically be in this description right here. So I'd like it to go through and take all the text from this description right here and populate that text right into here. So the heading from that option would show up here. All the text would then show up here. And then we go from the platinum option down to the gold option. down to a silver option, down to an economy plus, and an economy. And then I want to present all these options to the customer without showing any pricing, so they can see my options and only focus on my options as well as my guarantees and warranties. But I don't want them to focus on pricing at all until this slide right here. And then this slide right here, I'll go through and say, okay, so here's your platinum option. It consisted of this. This is for, you can get this option here for an investment of $13,211.67. How would you like to proceed? And then they can look at that, and they can look at all of these on their own and have that as an option. Then close it out with this, talking about the best guarantees in the industry. We have the highest amount of Google reviews for electrical only contractors in West Michigan, lifetime craftsmanship guarantee, and these couple little bullet points here. So when we hit present in our software, that's what I'd like to have happen. Hit this, and then it will automatically show up this. And then I can go through and explain all of this to the customer. And then once we get down into here, maybe we either keep this slide, and then this slide right here allows us to select an option to accept it, to where then we can go through and from the slideshow, we can accept an option. And then once we accept it, we'll continue, and then that'll show us that as to what it is. I'd like to be able to, from here, click a button to collect payment. Right now, you click a button to exit, and then it shows that this is accepted. It shows this. We go to the authorized section. Now it's showing that there is, here's the invoice section, nothing there. We are going to collect, this is what they're going to approve. We are going to collect a payment of $738 for this. We can continue to payments from here, and then from here, here's the balance that we need to collect. Here's the amount that we need to collect. When we click this line here, it asks us how we like to collect it. Cash, check, debit card, Discover. Here's our financing service that we use. MasterCard. We go through. If it's a, let's say it's a MasterCard, we can do that. Hit done. We can swipe the card, or we can enter it manually. A lot of times I end up entering it manually. And then here's the amount to be entered. This ties back to our credit card processing software. Put the stuff in, hit that button to make your payment then. We can back out. This shows the options. The thing I don't like about this is it shows the individual options here, which I'd prefer it to not show any of these individual items from the quote. I would prefer it to just show the description only. I don't want to show all these individual options. I like description only and then total. So that way I don't want to show all these individual items all the way down. Some of these have a lot of items in them, and we don't need to show every little individual fitting part or piece. Then from here, we're getting a signature from the customer. Again, so there's the signature from the customer. We're still in the authorization section. Now from here, we can go through if we needed to add some stuff to it that we're not billing to the customer. So let's say I want to do, I want to add some wire to it. So this is a non-inventory item, non-inventory right there. We add that. And then we're going to add, let's say we're going to add 50 feet. Click add. Oops, I don't need it anymore. We should have just added that. So yeah, that should be sitting into here. Now if we do a parts request, we can do a parts request from the quote, then items from quote. If we hit add, we can select this and this. This one doesn't really have any items in it, but we'll select it anyway. So now these items here are from that surge protection quote. These are from the other line item. And then in the truck, we can also adjust this from 1 to 2 if we wanted, and it doesn't change anything. Then we can put a notes in here, items needed for when we return to do installation. And then I can save this parts request. From here, it's new parts request saved. If I upload this, it'll upload it to the computer system. If I don't, I can still adjust it. So let's say I upload this now. And now if we go to the complete side, here's our project total that they accepted. Here's our minimum due. Again, we can go back to the payments to collect the payment due. Same system. Now we're going to go through and do MasterCard. We can swipe it. We can enter it manually. Same thing here. Test customer. Back out of that. Now here's the quote. It wants me to accept the quote again. Oops. Let me clear that out. So it shows my signature there now. And I can't fully accept it until I collect that minimum payment due, which I can't really do that for this for my test customer. Let me see if there's a way around this. I wish I had a way to get around this. Well, let's try. Hopefully this doesn't goof anything up. Let me try to do this for now. So we'll submit it. Now there's nothing left. We did a cash payment on that thing. Amount paid is that. Now we should be able to complete this thing out. This here would be, if I can get into it, this is the different financing options we have available that we can have the customer apply for through the thing. I'm not sure why we can't complete this specific work order out. But I can still go back to this, complete. Now, from here we can do warranty work, we can cancel out of it, or we can do work performed. When I hit work performed, it shows that. Now that work order is gone. Now if we go back to this and let's say we do dispatching, we can come into here. Now here's the customer that we just did. It's a do not service customer, training only. Here's the work order that we were just in. Here's the parts request that we just created. So from the tablet, we just created that parts request on this day requested. We can export it out to print, and it'll show you those parts, the surge protector, the wire, the breaker, that kind of stuff into here. And then from here I can either send it out to our supplier or we can print it out. Here's the timesheet for my work on that one. Let's see if it'll load. Here's my quote. So it'll show you the quote from the computer side, you can show rejected options. So then here's my premium option that they did not accept. Here's my economy option. And then it looks like we accepted the mid-grade option while we were there. It shows that it has been accepted. So that's kind of how our mobile works. We do have a concern or an issue with the mobile that we'd like to have different. And I think this customer here is one that I was playing with before that we had some problems with. So let me take a look at this a second and see. Yep, so what this customer here is this is the same customer, and it's just for testing. And what we're running into is when we send a guy out to do a service call, he'll go out and he'll quote the project first. So he's gonna have, you know, three to six different options. So he's gonna have a premium option to fix your problem, a mid-grade option, or economy is to fix the problem only. So this is fix the problem only, fix the problem with a slight add-on, and this is fix the problem with multiple add-ons for you. So then the customer can go through and accept whatever option. You present it to the customer, and the customer says, yes, I'd like to go with this economy option here. Now what we're running into is if the customer accepts this economy option, and then if they authorize it, once you authorize it, there's no turning back. So if you authorize this economy option, now quote and invoice has disappeared from down here. And then let's say you go out and you do all the work on this thing and it's time to collect payment and you want to go to collect payment, we're running into issues where we can only collect the down payment. We can go through and change this thing here potentially out. We have to go back to this and go 484. And then this thing just wants to collect the down payment. We come into 484, and then we're doing this. Now it's showing that there's a negative balance here. And then I've got amount paid, minimum due, this. And then the thing is that we're running into is when we go to send them their invoice, there's nothing at all available here. So it'll show the paid, it'll show the minimum due, that they got to accept the thing, but the problem is they're accepting only the quote and it doesn't convert it into an invoice. So it's still considered a quote even when we complete it out and we hit work performed. So that was for 480 something there. Now, when we go to my emails here, let's see if this stuff will come through. Nope. Maybe we can go back to this. Dispatch. Oh shoot, I don't remember when that one was. Yeah, what the problem we're running into is it's showing it as a quote only. Okay, so up in this bell, here's that parts request that we just created. I created that parts request for the test customer, and we can go through and click this to view the parts request up in that reminder. Now I gotta try to remember. I think this is that test customer that we were playing with. And it shows that the quote was accepted, but it still doesn't show an invoice in here anywhere. So there's not a good way with the current system to turn a quote into an invoice. So what we would like to have happen is we would like to be able to go into let's say this one for instance, and we've got this. We'd like to maybe when we hit accept, or whether it's another arrow, hopefully it's accept, it'll change this from a quote into an actual invoice. And then in the invoice it will have all that stuff, because otherwise to truly do it right now we end up going like this. They accept it. Now we have to move items. I think we're working now. We have to go through and select all these different items to move them to the invoice. But the problem is when we do, oh shoot. When we move them, it goes through and it puts down each individual item again on the invoice, to where we'd like to move everything from the quote over to the invoice, and then have the invoice basically just showing this section here, not showing all the individual items in it. So instead of just accepting it, doing the work, collecting payment, and once we did the work and collected the payment on this customer, it still showed it as an accepted quote, but not an invoice like the project was completed. So we want to be able to, instead of accept it, maybe it would be convert to invoice button here. Click that button, then it throws it over to this invoice, populates all this stuff on the invoice, and then when we're done working, we can go through and have the customer accept the quote, accept the invoice, email it to the customer when we hit complete, and show, the payment status. So that's one of our big struggles right now, is converting quotes to invoices. And we really want to see if we can get that with our new software that you guys are building. So there's a couple things we're trying to do with the new software. I really want to do a better presentation with the new software, where it will, when I hit present, it'll automatically come over to the Google Slides. It'll use the basic template, and then from the stuff I input, it'll automatically input into the slides for presenting to customers. So that's a big thing. And then we want to be able to accept quotes and collect a down payment. And also for the service guys, we want to be able to have them accept whatever option, but instead of just accepting it, we'd like it to convert it from a quote directly into an invoice without having all the individual items broken out. We just want the description broken out and the cost.